Hey folks, welcome to Marshland. I'm your host, Jeremy Marshall. Now, this is an idea I've had for a while now, just do a little pod, just talking about whatever the hell. And it's been kind of going through my head the last few days to do one of anything really, but the main thing that's been going on in the world right now has been everybody's pissed at each other and angry and yelling and screaming about what have you. It's a lot of things going on that piss a lot of people off right now, and I was tempted, so tempted, to try and throw my 2 cents in there as the premiere episode of this show. But in reality, that's not a very good idea for a lot of reasons. Number one, there's plenty of people out there who are more than willing to get angry and self-righteous and whatever the hell about their ideas, some justifiably, some not. That's not my place to interfere. Everybody has their opinion on the Ferguson situation, all that kind of stuff. Me, I do too, but who gives a crap what I have to say about something like that? Because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I really don't. I have an opinion, but that opinion is null and void, doesn't mean jack squat. So I figured for the inaugural episode of the Marshland podcast that I should talk about something that I actually know a fair amount about, and something that I can speak eloquently about, and that is something, the polar opposite of anything that actually matters in the world, is Star Wars. Today is Black Friday, and today, oh my god, today dropped the first teaser trailer for Star Wars Episode 7, The FORCE Awakens. Now, here's the thing about Star Wars Episode 7. This has been a long time coming. Now, anybody who knows anything about Star Wars knows this, but I'm assuming most people don't, because most people have lives. Me, on the other hand, I know everything about this. Now, when George Lucas actually conceived of Star Wars back in the 70s and early 80s, he envisioned it as a 9-part series of films. That's why he started, the first Star Wars is actually Episode 4. So he meant to go through 4 through 6, start back from 1 through 3, and then go in and tell the further adventures of Luke and Leia and Han and all that stuff. That was always intention. There's an interview with Mark Hamill after Return of the Jedi came out saying, yeah, we're gonna do 7, 8, and 9, and it's gonna be great. Never happened. 10 years after Return of the Jedi came out, Lucas said, all right, we're doing Episode 1. We're going back and talking about Darth Vader now. And everybody lost their shit. It was the biggest thing since the friggin' Beatles. It was insane. And then people didn't really curb their expectations, and they were very angry at George Lucas for many, many years for the prequels. Me, on the other hand, I was prime audience for the prequels. I was, let's see, it came out in 1999. I was 6 when Phantom Menace came out. Phantom Menace blew my mind. Phantom Menace was my favorite thing ever, my favorite movie, my favorite everything. Anakin Skywalker was my hero. I wanted to friggin', I don't know who's more of a hero, Anakin Skywalker or Darth Maul. Both of them were kicked ass. Skywalker could pod race. That was my favorite thing to do. I dreamed about pod racing. And the double-sided lightsaber of Darth Maul was my favorite thing ever. And I thought Jar Jar Binks was funny. I'll admit it, but I was the target demographic. George Lucas was making a movie for kids, and it really hit me right where I lived, and it's really what I wanted to see as a 6-year-old kid going into a movie theater. So I loved them. I'm a hardcore prequel sympathizer. I defend those till the day's over. I'm not saying they're as good as the original 3. Of course they're not, but for me, they are kind of my trilogy. They are my Star Wars, that when I think of Star Wars, I immediately go to, you know, Hayden Christensen, God forbid, it just is, Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, CGI Yoda, and I feel like there are a lot of things in that trilogy of films that really improved on the franchise and really pushed things forward, especially in the groundbreaking use of CGI and green screen that people bitch about now, but it had never been done before. It really was a novel approach to creating something. Now, in retrospect, yeah, we wish it had more practical, had maybe some real sets and less computer-generated stuff, but we wouldn't be where we are when it comes to computer graphics if it were not for those prequels and Lucas pushing for that. So there was a lot of innovation that came from that. Now, Revenge of the Sith comes out early 2000s. All right, we assume we're done. Like everybody assumes Star Wars is dead in the water. We'll get the Clone Wars animated series maybe. That's about all we're gonna get. Lucas, everybody's been bitching at him for 10 years about the prequels. He's never gonna try to do it again, because why would he do that? And then Disney buys Lucasfilm for $4.02 billion, which was insane. People couldn't understand why they were doing this. Well, next day, they announced Episode 7 was happening. They were doing the next trilogy, and the world exploded. That was 2 years ago. Today, we got our very first look at the first look of this movie. Directed by J.J. Abrams, who is the guy who's done the new Star Trek films. He directed Mission Impossible 3, did Alias, did Lost. Very, very, very brilliant filmmaker with a very interesting kind of visual aesthetic, which I'll get into in a minute. But this trailer dropped very early this morning and quickly became just the greatest thing ever. I forgot about it, honestly. I had to get up early and I was doing some work, and then about noon I was like looking at Twitter and I was like, wait, oh shit, trailer's out. So I immediately went to YouTube, and honestly, this is kind of shameful of me to say, but I watched that sucker probably 12, 20 times maybe at this point, and it's only been around for a few hours. I'm kind of ashamed, but I'm really not, because there's something about seeing the established Star Wars universe in a sequel setting. Like, I mean, there's the Millennium Falcon. The original Star Wars theme is all in there. You know you're in the original universe, which is something that we never thought we would have. Like, it never even crossed my mind that I would ever see the Millennium Falcon in a modern film. Like, I never even thought about it. And the other thing with this is so awesome is that we know nothing of this film. We know nothing about what's going to happen. The Avengers Age of Ultron trailer dropped a few weeks back, and I lost my mind. Like, I was recording another podcast at the time, and you hear my reaction. I lost my shit. Hardcore. And that was just for something that I knew I knew the villain, I knew all the players, I knew what was going to happen, and I lost my mind. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. This one is on a different level. This trailer, and I love trailers very, very much. Trailers are interesting because trailers are the purest form of a story. They are selling you on all the high points. They are throwing the best they have at your ass, and usually they're effective. Granted, there's a lot of great trailers out there for shit movies. It happens all the time. This one I don't really feel is that way. So this trailer basically is very quiet. Just has like some narration over images of the cast, of the new characters. No returning characters. We don't see Han Solo, we don't see Luke, we don't see Leia, we don't see C-3PO, we don't see R2-D2. We see nobody new. Nobody old. It's all new stuff. And the new stuff is gorgeous. Holy Christ on a cracker. It is insanely gorgeous. Everything that we see in this teaser trailer, please go watch it. It's 88 seconds long. It is so worth your time, even if you're not really a Star Wars fan. Just to see the new Stormtrooper outfits, just to see the badass longsword lightsaber that the villain's rocking. We don't even know who the villain is, but he's rocking a badass new-looking red lightsaber that kicks ass. And then the money shot of the whole thing, and the thing that inspired me to just be like, I gotta talk about this because this is the greatest thing ever, is the final shot. You cut to black. It cuts to the villain. It's got kind of slow John Williams music playing over the background, and then cuts to black. And then narration comes in, it's talking about dark side and the light side of the Force. And it says, the light. And then, out of the black, boom, John Williams' score pops in. The Star Wars theme blast. Those horns are just blaring into your ears. And the Millennium Falcon just shoots out into the sky on Tatooine, not even in space. The first time we've ever really seen the Millennium Falcon really do shit in like an actual terrestrial surface. And it is just swirling through the clouds, twisting and turning. The camera's with it the whole way. The camera's upside down for a bit. It is the most gorgeous shot I have ever seen in my life, and the Millennium Falcon looks beautiful. It is insane. The music's blaring in the background. It cuts up, it goes down, it swerves on some sand dunes on Tatooine, and then it heads right for some TIE fighters, and the TIE fighters make that classic sound. They shoot green lasers at it, cut to black, go to credits. It's the greatest freaking thing ever. It's insane how excited this makes me, because if you'd asked me 2 days ago, looking forward to Star Wars, shit yeah, but not like is gonna break my brain. I never really expected this trailer to make me react the way that it did, but it also made me indescribably happy to see the Millennium Falcon again, to know that we're gonna get more Star Wars, that it's gonna be a new Star Wars. That's the crazy thing, is that the prequels were the prequels, but the prequels were all experimental, and they all look kind of fake and cheesy, and I know that. I defend them, but I know that. They don't look very tangible. This one, on the other hand, holy crap, everything is real. Everything feels tangible and authentic and just just has texture to it that the other ones didn't. There's a badass shot of three X-Wing fighters just zooming across this big ass lake, and it is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. It is like the Death Star run, but on like a planet, which is crazy. Like water's kicking up behind it. It is incredible. It is very, very incredible. And it seems kind of crazy to go off on the trailer like this because it's an 88-second thing, but there's something about it. It maybe just taps into the kid in me of who that watched these movies, and it blew my mind because I didn't know what was coming. Like I didn't really know that Anakin Skywalker was Darth Vader. So when I kind of watched the prequels, I didn't really know what was going to happen. There were people who knew from the originals, but I didn't know what was going to happen, and I loved it. And I was like, oh my god, this guy died. Oh my god, Anakin's going bad. He killed Mace Windu. Yoda's got to fight Darth Sidious. Like, it was the greatest thing ever to me. That's how I kind of feel right now, is that I don't know what's coming, which is rare for me because I'm a guy who's going to try and find every scrap of information that I can about a movie. I will look at trailers. I will look at stills. I will scrounge the internet. Not scrounge. I mean, I look at movie sites, and if there's something there that says spoilers, I'm like, oh, click. I'm going to see that. I'm not against spoilers at all because it doesn't really matter to me. But the fact that nobody really knew what was coming, we didn't know what the visual aesthetic was going to be of this film, and now it just blows in our faces like, here it is, motherfuckers, boom. Just dropping it like a Black Friday bomb, just. And I'm flabbergasted about how excited I am for this film now. It's incredible. And there's a distinct thing about this, and this is interesting, and this is an interesting point I thought of. Very recently, there was another heavily anticipated sequel that is coming out, Jurassic World, which was shot very close to here in New Orleans, stars Chris Pratt, looks very, very cool. Very cool. I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan. And that trailer dropped a few days ago. And I liked it. It was good. It looks badass as hell. Didn't love it, though. It wasn't rewatchable. It didn't have the rewatchable factor. But interestingly enough, there was another trailer that dropped that day for a retelling of Peter Pan's called Pan, which stars Hugh Jackman, and it's got a few other guys in it, which wasn't really on my radar much. It sounded cool, but wasn't really on my radar. This trailer, on the other hand, blew my mind, and I watched it about 12 times that day. And I think the key thing with any trailer, and I think the interesting thing about trailers, is that you have to sell them on the music. The music is so key. The images are important, but the music is key. That's why the Avengers trailer kicked so much ass, was because it had that really creepy version of No Strings on Me playing over everything, which was so bizarre and out of it and weird that it was just mesmerizing. This Pan trailer kind of had a similar thing. It had a really nice song behind it, and the beats were really, really cool, and it worked. Like, it just really felt like it was worked. The Jurassic World trailer, as much as I like it, and how much, depending on how cool it looks, it was missing a key element, which if anybody's ever seen Jurassic Park, they know. Really, I feel, the most important aspect of that film is the John Williams theme. Just bum 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 bum, like that theme, those horns, the John Williams horns, are crucial to that film being as iconic as it is, and that score. It's what makes the movie. It's like the Indiana Jones theme, or it's like the Star Wars theme, getting back to my point. The Jurassic Park theme had one of the themes running through, but it didn't have the theme. It didn't have the one that's going to be like, oh shit, oh, it's my favorite thing ever. It didn't have that. Star Wars, on the other hand, wisely used the John Williams theme, and it blew it out of the park. Like, it just came in at the last second. It's the last thing you hear going into credits is like the main Star Wars trumpet blast, and it sells it. Like even if I didn't like all the imagery ahead of it, and it wasn't just blowing my mind, that theme killed it. That theme just blew it out of the park. Nothing else matters. I'm in. Take my money, J.J. Abrams, you magnificent bastard. I will go wherever you're going to take me. But I think music is very, very key, especially when you deal with John Williams. John Williams is... There's the thing with artists, that artists do what they do to live forever. Like, they kind of have this weird, like, death psychosis thing, which I've found, where you're afraid you don't have enough time and you want to live forever through your work. John Williams is one of those rare artists, I say rare, one of the few out of the many people who are artists who legitimately I feel will live on and throughout history. That man's work is seminal. That man's work is iconic with a capital I. Nothing is better than a John Williams score. And if anything, the Star Wars score proves that. You can't deny it. You really can't replicate it. To feel something that authentic in this new trailer really adds a level of legitimacy to it that sells it for me, and I feel like for millions of Star Wars fans across the world right now who are now just losing their minds and are going to watch that trailer again and again and again and again. So if you haven't gone and watched it, please go do it. If you've never watched Star Wars before, it's not going to have the same effect, but appreciate it for what it is. Like, it's just a kick-ass trailer, and it just looks incredible. But if you have any remembrance of Star Wars in your heart when you watched it as a kid, if you watch them now, if you're still a fan, it will blow your mind. Just seeing the Millennium Falcon do maneuvers through the air, fighting TIE fighters on Tatooine, it's incredible, and it's the greatest thing you're going to watch all day. It's the kind of thing that, and this is kind of how I feel about most things, there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now. There's a lot of people mad at one another and a lot of hatred going on. But you know what? Even with all that shit going on, you know what? I was so happy today because I saw something that just made me smile. Like, that's the beauty of movies like Star Wars, and why I love movies and entertainment and cinema, because it's transportive, because it really is that one thing that just kind of takes you out of the bullshit of your everyday, and it's something that's very special and something you really can't replicate. But that's why I kind of decided, look, I'm going to talk about this today, because I don't need to talk about real shit. I don't know real shit. What I do know very, very well, are silly shit. Is Star Wars and Marvel and comics and Disney and movies, and maybe I'll tap into a few hard-hitting subjects here and there, but you know what? That's not what I enjoy. That's not what I want to talk about. It's not really what I want to hear people talk about. I want to talk about things that make me happy. And I want to share with people things that make me indescribably happy. And right now, in this moment, as I'm sitting here, the thing that's making me the happiest is Star Wars, The Force Awakens trailer. Check it out right now on YouTube. It'll be the greatest thing you watch all day. All right, well, that's all I'm going to do for right now. I may holler back at you guys in a few days, week, what have you. But if you've listened this far, thank you sincerely. I really do appreciate you listening to me rant and rave. And I will definitely be giving you guys some more content very, very soon. And hopefully it will only get better as the days go on and the episodes continue to grow. So that's all right now. I'm Jeremy Marshall. Thanks for visiting the Marshland. See ya.